Hello students, my today's lecture is on anomalous behavior of beryllium, diagonal relationship between beryllium and aluminium. We have discussed in our previous lectures the alkaline earth metals, physical properties, atomic properties and chemical properties. Students, we are here talking of anomalous behavior of beryllium. Students, I told you in earlier lecture also, the first element of every group shows unique behavior, shows anomalous behavior because of the reasons. What are the reasons for that? There will be same reasons in every group. We will experience this anomalous behavior because of the small size. The size of beryllium is very small. As you go down the group, the sizes are increasing. Second, high ionization enthalpy. The size is small, therefore ionization enthalpy is very high. Third, because of high charge by radius ratio. What is this? Be2 plus. Be2 plus 2 plus charge and radius is small. So the charge by radius ratio is very high, intense. So what will be the result of this? High polarizing power. High polarizing power. When the polarization is high, students, you have read about Fuzan's rules. That what will happen? Small anion, bigger anion, small cation, high charge, higher polarization, more covalent character. So it will show more covalent character in its compounds, and the compounds may become soluble in organic solvents. Further, you see high enthalpy of hydration. High enthalpy of hydration, students. Hydration enthalpy is directly proportional to the charge of the ion. Size is small, charge is more. So there is going to be a higher tendency for hydrolysis. They will try to get hydrolyzed. So what we find, these are some of the things. Another important thing which we always tell you is that the point fifth I am telling you that beryllium is a first element. So atomic number is 4. What is that? 1s2, 2s2. So the second period students, n is equal to 2. The principal quantum number is 2, students. So you have only 2s, 2 and 2p vacant. This is our 2p vacant orbitals. You have 2px, 2py, 2pz vacant. So only 2s and 2p. So if the need arises, the coming reagents may excite this electron. If this is excited, what you get? 2s, 2p1. So 2s, 2p1. This is my 1s2. This is my valence shell. So in the valence shell, what you can have, students? You can excite this electron, and then what? How many orbitals are there? In the second 2s and 2p. So maximum you can have this state. 2s, one electron is excited. So you have two vacant orbitals of 2p and 1s, 2s and 2p. Total 4 orbitals are available. Total 4 orbitals are available in the second subshell. That means coordination number. What will be the coordination number of most of the time? 4. So the maximum compounds of the beryllium can have maximum coordination number 4. It cannot be more than 4 because we do not have the third shell available. 3s, 3p, 3d is not available. But as you will go down the group, what will happen? The third shell will start. So there will be 3s, 3p and 3d also vacant orbitals are available. So they can take part or they can accept electrons from the other ligands or other groups. So here coordination number 4. Others can have, for example, aluminium can have coordination number 6 also as you go down the group. So these are some of the things which we always find in the first element, and that makes it anomalous, unique. I hope you have noted these points. They will be the same in most of the groups which we will be talking about, students. This is the first thing. So let us see what are the properties which we are experiencing due to small size, high ionization power, high ionization enthalpy, high polarizing power, intense charge by radius ratio of the beryllium. So what we said, that melting point, boiling point of beryllium high, and this is hard metal, because Be2 plus is small, that bonding is going to be stronger. In this case metallic bonding is there, so it is harder. Then what we find, that beryllium does not react with water. Even with boiling water it does not react, whereas magnesium reacts with boiling water, students, to form magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Further, beryllium forms a oxide layer which is inert, so it is not attacked by, does not react with acids, because it forms a BeO, a protective layer. There is a protective layer which protects the beryllium for a reaction. Further, you see that what we said, that beryllium carbonate, if we find, it will react with water, students, and what it is, has a tendency to get hydrolyzed, and what you are getting is BeH2 2 plus and CO3 2 minus. So here important point is that you cannot keep beryllium carbonate like this. It has to be kept in an atmosphere of carbon dioxide in order to take it, otherwise it will react with water and form a hydrate of the beryllium, readily hydrolyzed, students. So their beryllium compounds are more covalent, and beryllium oxide, beryllium hydroxide, what they do, they are amphoteric, students, very important property, amphoteric. You know that others, as you go down the group, they become more and more basic. They are ionic compounds. These are covalent compounds, and maybe is soluble in water. So they are amphoteric. They will react with acid as well as base to form salt and water. So beryllium oxide reacts with HCl, students. What it will do? Beryllium chloride and H2O, and beryllium oxide will react with NaOH. So what it will do? It will form BeO2. So this is 4 minus 2 plus Na2 BO2. So what is this? So beryllium oxide here is acting as a base, here it is acting as an acid, so forming salt and water. Important reaction for exams. Many times they ask us that these oxide, which is amphoteric, beryllium oxide is amphoteric because it can react with acid as well as base, students. Another important thing is the carbides. Beryllium carbide is covalent C double bond B, C double bond B. Student, here what you find is beryllium, what is the charge on that? 2 beryllium is 4 plus charge, and so carbon is 4 minus. Carbon charge is 4 minus, C4 minus. Here you are having C4 minus charge on the carbon. So this reacts with water, to produce C4. It will take 4 hydrogen to produce CH4 gas. Important, very important reaction. Beryllium carbide will react with water, students, and what it will give beryllium hydroxide and CH4 gas. Methane gas, also known as a marsh gas, students. But if you have other carbides of the other group like CaCO2, MgCO2, other carbides, what they will do? They will react with water, and what they will form? CaOH twice, student. And you see here calcium 2 plus and C2 2 minus. So what is the result of that? calcium carbide. So here you see C22 minus, it will react, it needs two hydrogen and it will form at C triple bond CH. So here you have produced ethane. Student, acetylene gas is produced when the carbides of other group 2 elements are reacted with water. Beryllium behaves differently. It produces methane gas and can be used as a source of methane. Very important. And you already see the coordination number maximum in the case of beryllium is 4, whereas others show 6 coordination number. So student, these are some of the anomalous behavior of beryllium. Let us see now the diagonal relationship between beryllium and the aluminium. As I told you students, diagonal relationship. What is a diagonal relationship, students? We told you first element and the next group element, second element. They have diagonal relationship. Here what we have, beryllium. You have beryllium, then you have magnesium, calcium, and if I take this is my second group, student, group 2, and here I have now group 13. Group 13 is boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium, student. So this is a diagonal. Beryllium first element, aluminium second element of group 13. So what happens? Size decreases, size increases. So almost we expect some similarities between these elements. We are already telling you this is happening in the group 1 and group 2 also. We have shown this type of diagonal relationship for lithium. So here what is happening? Beryllium, what is the reason? First of all, what is the reason for diagonal relationship? In this case, beryllium, aluminium, they have almost equal electronegativity, that is around Pauling scale 1.5. Now 1 point. Second, if I take the charge by radius ratio, beryllium 2 plus and aluminium 3 plus, the charge by ratio, what we find, 1.31 to 1.60. It is almost coming, students, the same. The charge by radius ratio is coming to be, this is a 2 by picometer. This is, picometer, 31, the size of 31 picometer and 50. So what we get is 0.064 and 0.060. So charge by radius ratio is same. Charge by radius is same, so they have the same polarizing power. So due to similar charge by radius ratio, there is a diagonal relationship between beryllium and aluminium. So they are going to, we expect a similar type of behavior and properties. We have already told you some certain information about them. What was that? We already told you that both beryllium, magnesium will show covalent compounds because high polarizability, charge is high, charge by radius ratio is high, therefore their polarization is high. And further you see that beryllium chloride and you have both beryllium and aluminium, students. Beryllium chloride and aluminium chloride both are electron deficient species. Students, you already know that central atom wants to complete an octet, but there are compounds which are having less than 8 electrons. There are compounds which have more than 8 electrons. Expanded octets are electron deficient species. Here you know what is Be and C. So Lewis structure, you see that this has only 4 electrons, therefore electron deficient. And similarly, if I say aluminium Cl3, I write what is this here. So how many? 1, 6 electrons. So both are electron deficient species. It needs 2 pairs of electron. It needs also 1 pair of electron to complete the octet, students. They are electron deficient species, and both BeCl2, AlCl3 are used as Lewis acids in Friedel-Crafts reaction. Friedel-Crafts reaction. This I will explain in organic chemistry to you, students. What is Friedel-Crafts reaction? They can accept electrons, and therefore chlorination of the benzene or other type of reactions, alkylation, acylation is done in the presence of AlCl3, or we can use BaCl3. Both are electron deficient, both act as Lewis acid, and they have bridged Cl structure. What is the meaning of that? They are forming dimer, student. If I have this, what you see here, this is electron deficient. This can form coordinate bond. This can form coordinate bond. It is a dimer, students. And what is happening in AlCl3? This is my Cl. So this Cl, there is a Cl, there is a Al, Cl. So this can donate pair of electron to this, and this can donate pair of electron. So here you have seen bridged Cl. These are bridged Cl, and coordinate covalent bonds. You know that, students? This is electron deficient. It is getting a coordinate covalent bond. It is getting electron from Cl. This Cl is giving electron pair to beryllium. This Cl is giving a pair of electron to the beryllium, vacant orbital of 2p, and here is 3p. So they form dimers, and these have a similar type of structures, students. Similar type of structures. Both beryllium and magnesium are resistant to acids. Okay, I can rub this. Beryllium, magnesium are not resistant to, are not reacting with acids due to formation of protective oxide layer. So they are forming an oxide layer, and they are inert. They are not reacting with the AlCl3, and both dissolve in alkali. And what you get is BO4. So here it is 2 minus. Beryllium is getting 2 minus, and aluminium is forming. So they are forming some complexes with the hydroxide ions, and both have high melting points, boiling points as compared to others, students. And important thing is that beryllium oxide, we have shown you amphoteric. Just now I gave you the reaction, and so is Al2O3. It is amphoteric. Both oxides are amphoteric. As you go down the group, you know that they are becoming more and more ionic due to the covalent nature. So what will happen? Al2O3 will react with HCl to form 2AlCl3. So here you are having a 6. So what is the result of this? 3H2O, and Al2O3 will also react with NaOH. What you are getting is NaAlO2, 2 minus 3 plus 1 charge, 1 sodium. So what you are having? So you will get 2Na plus, you will get 2H, and you will get H2O. So you can see, student, what they are doing. Basically, Al2O3 can act as a base here. Al2O3 can act as an acid. Both are amphoteric. We have already given you the reactions of beryllium oxide with HCl and NaOH. So both the oxides are acting as amphoteric. Down the group, they are all becoming basic oxides. Basic oxides, you already know, down the group what happens, they become more and more basic, students. And further important thing about the carbides, very important, that the carbides, we told you beryllium carbide. reacts with water. So what you are getting, students? Beryllium hydroxide and methane gas. And aluminium forms carbide Al4Cl3. So what will be the result of this? 4AlOH thrice, and you will get methane gas, students, here. So we have to balance. This is 4 4 3 12. So what do you find? Both the carbides show similar type of behavior, students. Both the carbides are forming further methane gas. Both are giving methane gas, and due to high charge, high polarizing power, I am saying, they have a tendency, both beryllium 2 plus Al3 plus show tendency to form complexes. So there is some tendency to form complexes in both of them. So you can have BeF4 2 minus, and you have AlF6. LF6, this is fluoride of aluminium 3 minus. So because it is 3 plus, it is 2 plus. So students, this is all about the anomalous behavior of beryllium and the diagonal relationship of beryllium and aluminium. And I will see you in my next lecture. Will try to come forward with P block elements, which is in demand from the students for 11th and 12th. Both of them are asking for lectures on P block elements. So I will discuss more about that in the next lectures. Okay, bye bye. We'll meet you in our next class.